Thank you. You can get seated. Thank you once more, colleagues, and we would love to start by acknowledging our VC, Professor Mokhalong, in absentia, our DVCs, Professor Madaje for teaching and learning, and our DVC with us here, Professor Mutiba, for innovations, partnerships, and research. And we also want to acknowledge the university management at large, including the executive deans from the 4 faculties of the university, all different directors and HODs from the academic sector, including our colleagues who are directors in the different support units. You are all welcome and all protocol observed. And those who have not been mentioned, apologies, but you are all acknowledged. Thank you. We shall now continue with our program, and I'll request our DVC, Professor Mutiba, to come and do the welcome. Thank you.
Good morning on behalf of our Vice Chancellor and Principal, Professor Mokhalong, and his executive management team. It is with great pleasure and deep gratitude that I welcome you all to this prestigious event. Today marks a momentous occasion, not just as we recognize outstanding individuals that is in this hall who have demonstrated excellence in their fields, but as we highlight the university's commitment to the growth and enhancement of research capacity, innovation, and postgraduate enrollment. We are gathered here today in alignment with the University of Limpopo's 2025 to 2029 strategic plan, particularly the 5th goal focused on strengthening research capabilities. This goal is at the heart of our academic journey, driving us to provide impactful research solutions that address societal needs and contribute to the Sustainable Development Goals. Our motto, providing solution to Africa, calls on us to not only advance knowledge, but to do so in ways that are meaningful, relevant, and transformative, both locally and globally. Through this event, we celebrate more than just individual excellence. We affirm your collective ambition. The researchers that are in the room and also rated researchers here today represent the very best of what we can achieve when passion, dedication, and talent are supported with the resources and infrastructure they need to strive. You know, if you don't have resources, you won't succeed. That's why today, this event, we want you to thrive and we want you to grow to a certain level. As we look forward to the future, the importance of strategic initiatives like this project becomes clear, that we want to enhance research capacity, fostering innovation, increasing postgraduate recruitment. These elements are essential not only for academic success, but for the long-term development of knowledge that has a real-world impact. This project that I've embarked in when I started in the office in September to enhance research capacity and postgraduate recruitment at the University of Limpopo through researchers and rated researchers seeks to address critical challenges facing academia today, such as insufficient funding for research and the need to attract and support postgraduate students by providing financial support, research infrastructure, and a robust mentorship platform. we ignite to make sure that you succeed in your own specialty areas. And having said that, colleagues, welcome, and this is the purpose of why we are here. Thank you.
Thank you again. We appreciate the possible collaborations from the team that is here with us today. And I hope the researchers will have time to engage with them for possible collaboration projects. We are now going to continue. Our colleague, Director of Research Office, Dr. Mabila, has joined us. I'm trying to locate him. Is he somewhere nearby? Yes, here he is. Thank you, Dr. Mabila, for being with us in the meeting. This item, we are going to give you a chance, so you'll just guide us as to how to proceed with the item that follows. The stage is yours. Thank you.
Good morning, colleagues. Greetings to our guests. I'm told they come from a country when you greet, you say Assalamu alaikum. So, you are most welcome to the University of Limpopo. A research intensive university, which was formerly referred to as the historically black university, which wasn't meant historically to succeed when it comes to issues of research, but through the tenacity that has become engraved in the history of Black South Africa, we have emerged to be one of the most renowned universities. As you can see, some of our flowers are sitting amongst you today, known as rated researchers. In the South African research system, the rated researcher is one who subject themselves to peer review by both national and international scholars, peers. And there's a system where they are classified depending on age, depending on their level of establishment within the field where they are. So you can be recognized as the potential future leader. You can be recognized as a young emerging scholar that is believed to establish themselves in a few years. But also, if you are established, you can be classified under several categories, starting from the C, which in itself has 3 categories, C1, C2, C3. C1 being one which is regarded as higher than the C3, and to cut a long story short, says you are making, now it's too loud, inroads into becoming an international scholar. So if you go beyond the C1, you get into the B, B2, B1, which now says you have earned the international stature as a scholar, and the A-rated researcher, which is one of the top-rated ratings in the country, is an international scholar which is renowned worldwide. And then secondly, within the South African research system, we have what we call the SACHI, South African Research Chairs and Initiatives, where we also apply for colleagues in their field to be recognized as a chair, and there's always one within a particular area. So if we say we have a research chair in this field, there might be one that wants to sort of like mimic what we are doing, but it will not exactly be what we are doing, because at a particular given time, there cannot be two research chairs that are doing the same thing. So the research chair in any of the fields that we will talk to today is the only one in the country at the current moment recognized by the National Research Foundation and supported as such. So we're very proud as a university to recognize, and thanks to the vision by my line manager and current boss, Professor Mutiba, sitting here, who has just addressed you and welcomed you, to see it fit that this cream of the crop, the pride of the University of Limpopo, researchers are recognized and they are given their flowers whilst they are still alive. There is a saying that says, don't give me flowers when I'm already in the grave. Bring the flowers whilst I'm still alive. And I think today we should clap hands for Professor Mutiba, because that's exactly what she wants to do for all the researchers here. And with that, I also would like to acknowledge everyone who's here. I see my colleagues in the school directors, I see deans, I see, and others have sent me messages to say they are starting somewhere, they will join us later. And I would also want to acknowledge them in absentia, and hopefully they will join us before we go too far. Our program director, my colleague, the librarian, thank you very much at short notice to accept and to allow yourself to guide this. And all the people that are making this function possible. I will need assistance in what I'm going to do, and I actually thought there was going to be a little bit of music so that I can deal with the other protocols a little bit before, so that I don't confuse people. And if that is possible up there, you can give us a little bit of some music as the program director had requested. Then I will have just a brief talk with Professor Mutiba and the program director. And after that, I think I should be ready to ask the colleagues that are going to help us to quickly run through what we have to run through. I do believe we won't take a lot of time. I see there's quite a number of colleagues that will recognize and they will not be here because they have indicated that some of them are not around, they have traveled, others are far, and others, because of ill health, have not been able to join us this morning. So, colleagues, are we able to play some good old-time music that can make us feel at home up there? Exactly. She's saying, yeah. Are we able to play anything? Nothing? Nothing. Okay. Probably we can get to just know each other for about 2 minutes. Thank you, colleagues. I've just got my final instructions. I will request Professor Mbambu Kekana and Professor Sibanda to prepare themselves. You are not going to say anything, professors. You're just going to assist the DVC in handing over some certificates to our colleagues. I will be doing the talking to try and save time. So we shouldn't take quite a long time to do this. So we will start with asking the rated researchers we'll start with the rated researchers. You will notice that some of the research chairs are also rated researchers. Normally, when you have to apply for a research chair, it is an ideal requirement that you should also be rated. So there are some research chairs that are not rated, but it is a requirement that once you get a research chair, within the first 2-3 years of your holding of a research chair, you should also get a rating. So we always encourage colleagues to say apply for a research chair when you have applied for rating. So that you don't find yourself in a situation where you have a chair and you cannot get a rating. So when you see them coming a lot of times down here, it will be because they hold those two prestigious positions. But also, I'm not so sure because I came in towards the end of the welcome speech by the TVC. I'm not sure if she announced the fact that each of the people that are going to come here will also receive from her office a very generous amount of money to which you will be expected to use towards ensuring that you broaden and you also increase your research output. In terms of postgraduate student supervision, as well as publications and other forms of research output. So I'll go name by name for all the rated researchers. And Professor Mbambo Kekana and Professor Sibanda will shake their hands. And Professor Mutiba will hand over the certificates, assisted by Kulufelo. So, Prof, can you please come closer to the banner there? Thank you. Let's do this. Send it. No, the chair will go in. All right. Each rated researcher is going to receive 75,000 rands not into the pocket, but towards student bursaries and assistance. They will also get 20,000 rands towards consumables. So my colleagues in the human and social sciences, when we talk about consumables, we know what we mean. The sciences, they don't have any problem. They understand. And then for workshops and conferences, they are going to get 10,000 rands. That's the big breakdown. So in total, each of the rated researchers will get 105,000 rands. Irrespective of the rating category. So I'll start and I'll go according to faculties, not according to alphabetical order. So Kulu, you must work very, very smart. Professor Abodunrin is a professor at the Faculty of Humanities, English Literature, and he is rated C2. Yeah, I can see, we already see now that you come straight to the DVC, you receive the certificate, you take a picture, and then you shake the hands of the two colleagues, they congratulate you, then you go and sit down. That should be the order. And whilst he is still doing that, another one who is not in the room, I will recognize them just by name and the rating and will pass so that they can also eliminate the certificates there. It was going to be Professor Cook, Ian Cook. Prof. Cook is rated C3. He is in the School of Education. And then we have Professor Witness Maluleke. He is here. His rating is a Y2. He's still a young man. So Y also says you are still young. He's in criminology, specializing in stock theft. Hopefully, future A-rated researcher. And then we have Professor Makubele, I believe it's Malose. He is not here. And then we have Professor Rankwana, who has this morning caught a bug, and she called to say she's also not here. We congratulate her. We have our Dean of the Faculty of Humanities, Professor Mautu, she will join us later. She will get her certificate. Hopefully, she will still have a chance to take a picture. She is also not yet here. And then we have from psychology, Professor Solomon Mashikwan. I have not seen him. I'm not sure if he's here. It seems like he's also not made it to the room. Another colleague from psychology, Professor Saraswati Govender. Professor Govender is also rated C3. She is from psychology. She writes a lot about all things cognitive. Our next recipient is Professor Lisibana Rafapa. I have not seen him also. He is the research professor in the Faculty of Humanities. I'm sure simply because the dean is also engaged somewhere, he's together with the dean. Probably they will also show up together later on. And then from humanities again, political science, international politics, another young man, Professor Kutatso Shai. Professor Shai writes a lot about America's international relations. So if you want to know anything about America's relations with other countries, this is the man to talk to. Then we have one of our professors rated C2, who is also a research chair. And I will also take this opportunity to mention that the research chairs also get an additional prize of about, in total, 350,000. So, Professor Sodi, Chair in Mental Health and Society. Yeah, let's do it together. So he will get the 2 certificates to save time, meaning that the other one in recognition of him being able to win the research chair with the NRF. His chair is actually a hybrid chair or whatsoever. It's funded by UL, it's funded by the Medical Research Council, South African Medical Research Council. It's also funded by the NRF. So he's a polygamist. And Professor Sodi has won the rights to host the bank for all tests for mental health. He will explain that when you want the explanations. So soon we will be hosting the bank, the database for all the banks for all the mental health tests. And then we have Professor MJ Temane. He's a partner with Professor Sodi. They are sharing the same space, offices, in house number 21. He's the research chair and the C3 rated professor. in a very interesting space, schools as enabling environments. Schools as enabling environments. Congratulations, Professor Temane. And then we also have a very interesting research chair within communication space, Professor Tux Oyodemi, C2 rated professor. Hopefully we are eyeing a research chair soon. And when you come here, please come with a smile because there's pictures taken here. And we don't know which one will go into the national newspapers. So you don't want to be coming out there looking like me. And then we have Professor Hesselink. I think she also apologized. She is a C3 rated researcher. I think she's also in communication. Am I right, Professor Edim? In criminology. Thank you, Prof. Malulek. They have become so many, I even forgot their fields of specialty. And then we have Professor or Dr. S.L. Kugara. He's another young man. In humanities, in political science again. Has been a postdoc under the tutelage of Professor Shai, one young man tutoring another. I don't know if whether it's a case of the blind leading the blind. And now, before I release the colleagues that are sitting there, I'll ask Professor Mbambo Kekana to stand this side and Professor Mutiba to stand that side. Professor Mbambo Kekana has the honor of presenting a certificate for rated researcher C3, our Deputy Vice Chancellor, Professor Tebogo Mutiba. Prof. Mutiba, you will need to come and shake the hands and receive your certificate. And take a picture. I will help you to spend the money. And then I will move on. I want to ask quickly Professor Mafeu and Professor Professor Mampuru to prepare themselves to replace my team here that is standing with Professor Mutiba after the next three people that I'll call. We have our research professor in the School of Healthcare Sciences, of Health Sciences, and is none other than Professor Daniel Goon. Is he here? Professor Goon is not yet here. And then we also have in the health sciences the only professor of optometry in the room, rated C2, Professor Solani Matebula. Professor Matebula will tell you emphatically that all of us sitting in this room have got a problem of dry eyes. And the last one for this team is Professor Fatoki. I have not seen him. I do believe he's here. In business management, rated C2. Let's also equally appreciate Professor Sibanda and Professor Mbambo Kekana. I've seen your warmth as you embrace and shake the hands. I hope they have copied from you, colleagues, and they are going to do likewise. They are coming down now. Prof. Mampuru, Professor Mafeo. Again, DJ Kalima. That's why I want to work for all the things. Mara, we can say we will do that. Okay. Thank you. Hey, sharp. Sharp, Professor. Sharp. Thank you very much, our visitors. Prof. Mbambo Kekana, thank you for bringing our visitors to this event. We really appreciate. And we believe we are still going to interact with them throughout the day. When we finish here, other colleagues are going to join you. And we're looking forward to very fruitful interactions. And then we move on. We are in the Faculty of Management and Law. We have just invited Professor Fatoki in absentia. And Professor Mango, I don't think he is also here. He apologized. He is a C1 rated researcher. And Professor Mango is also a research chair in pension funds. This is a joint chair between University of Limpopo and National University of Lesotho. So it's across the border, it's trans boundary or something. And this research chair is an interesting one in the sense that at the National University of Lesotho, they also offer a full-time program which is linked to the research chair. So Professor Mango is not here, but we can clap hands for him. So one of the other additional announcements whilst I'm still there, I said the research chairs, in addition to the 105,000 that I announced, they also will receive about 350,000, plus all the research chairs, the spaces they find themselves in, will be renovated. If you've got a lab, Professor, your lab is going to be enhanced. And also, I'm looking for space to accommodate them. So if you have got space, please volunteer some space so that in the meantime, when the renovations will take place, they will not be stranded. The executive dean is here. He's listening. Professor Nyane, Hulu Nyane, Professor of Law, is here. I think I saw him. Sitting next to his dean there. If you know your work, you are not afraid to sit next to your executive dean. Rated C2. And then we also have Professor Tuse. Did I see him sitting there? Also in law, rated C2 also. I don't know why he's sitting far away from his executive dean. We should clap hands. And I also know that some of these rated professors have never met each other. They don't even know each other. So when we have something to eat there, please use the time to also get to know each other, network, and see how you can collaborate and co-supervise. Interdisciplinary and intradisciplinary. Prof. Mutiba, we have some newly rated researchers, and we are going to also put you under pressure to recognize them. Some colleagues have never met them. They don't know that they are rated. So I'll reflect when they are those. One of them, I don't know if they are in the room, Professor B.K. Majola from the School of Economic and Management Sciences, rated C2. So he's newly rated. His rating is fresh from the box with effect from January 1 this year. And he also is not alone from that faculty who is newly rated. I think also Professor Kolani or Dr. Kolani Majola. I'm not so sure if he's here. Tusi, I'm sorry, I said Majola. Now I'm mixing things. Kolani Tusi, apologies for calling you with the wrong surname, sir. He's a proud member of the University of Limpopo. You can see by his dress code. And also a proud member of the Faculty of Management and Law. So, Kolani is rated Y2. And then the Faculty of Science and Agriculture newly re-rated C2, Professor Mtulisi Velempini. He is also the chair in wireless systems, recognized by, I sometimes mix whether the chair is from Zadna or is from the other organization. Prof, the chair is by Zadna or by, yes, Zadna. So Zadna is the ZA domain system. ZA DNA. Professor Mtulisi, all things cybersecurity. And then from statistics, our very own Professor Daniel Maposa. I've also not seen or heard him speak today. He's always visible with his voice. He's not here, we can clap for him. He's rated C2. And then Professor Ashwell Ndlala, Dr. Ashwell Ndlala, He is not around. He works very closely with Professor Mashela. And then we also have Professor Ngoni Moyo, who is also not here. I don't think he's here. He is the aquaculture specialist and he's rated C2. And we have Professor Mukwena SN, C2. He is from computer science. And then we have Professor Priklova. She's from biodiversity. We also have Professor Daniel Munyeki, who is not here, visibly not here. Professor Munyeki, the Ellis Russ longitudinal study guy, we all know him. We can clap for him. He will receive his accolades later. And then we have Professor Peter Masuku, the research chair in the Faculty of Science and Agriculture. Also, unfortunately, not here today, this morning. He will also receive the message and the accolades later. I'm scrolling through my list. Am I getting to the end? If I've not called you, it means you're not on my list. It's possible. Why does it keep on jumping? Thank you. We have our very own Professor Mashela P.W. Professor Mashela, your space is too big. You must choose where they must renovate. Otherwise, we'll be putting a new building there. The reason why I'm saying this is that Professor Mashela has recently signed with the Agricultural Research Council for a research chair. I forgot what it is. It's only Professor Mampuru who can announce those words. Do you remember, Prof? But, yeah, regenerative agriculture. Thank you, Professor. You put it in simple language. That's Professor Mashela. And then we have our research chair in river health systems, Professor. Ecosystem health. Professor Luz Powell. She is also a Sachi chair, as you all know. So she's receiving that big prize. So after this, Professor Powell, I'm going to respond to your email and say congratulations. Then we have Professor Hato. I've not seen him either here. Oh, he's here. I didn't see the Kaizer Chiefs jersey, so I thought he was not here. Professor Hato seems to be a proud Lesotho gentleman. Hey, Antat. Professor Hato is another one of the most hardworking colleagues that we are recognizing today with a C2 rating. He comes from the Department of Chemistry. And then we have Dr. Saidi, AS. I don't know if I saw Dr. Saidi here. He's not here. We can congratulate him in absentia C3. Again, I received an apology from Professor Ado Betiako, who is also a C2. He couldn't make it this morning. We congratulate him. And then we have Professor Christopher Bayenguni from Geology. I'm not so sure if he's here. Professor Rapatsa Malachi, the aquaculture specialist also. She's not here. And then Dr. P.P. Mkonto from Materials Modeling is here. Dr. Mkonto is Y1 rated. I'm not so sure whether it's energy, mining, or something, but they are there. And they are front runners. And then we have Professor F. J. Mhlanga. I thought I saw him wearing a suit here. Is he here? Far I left. Okay. He had apologized anyway. He sent me an email. I think he's running around with the international guests. Congratulations to him in absentia, C2 rated. And we have Professor Chasi. Professor Chasi is here. Also a C2 rated researcher. Congratulations, Professor Chasi. I do believe he is in the School of Agriculture. And then we have Dr. Sole Tunkosi. Is he here? At the back. Soletu is C3 rated. If I announce the wrong rating, correct me, colleagues, don't be shy. I want to believe that Professor Zwane is not here. I've not seen his face. EM is C3 rated. We can clap for him. And then from mathematics, we have Professor Olela Otafudu. Olela Otafudu. He is also C1 rated researcher. Professor, I believe with this injection of funds, you will jump to your B and A rating. And then we have Dr. Z. Mnisi. Dr. Mnisi is a Y2 rated researcher. I need to appreciate the agile recruitment from the faculty where and the school where Dr. Mnisi is from. We need to handpick them, those that can be rated immediately. And colleagues must tell their colleagues who are rated to come and work for you. This next cohort of people I'm going to call Professor Mutiba are all newly rated in the Faculty of Science and Agriculture. Their rating is with effect from 1 January 2025. The first one, who also got a contract with the Agricultural Research Council as a research chair in, I don't know now because the generative agriculture is mentioned. I think it has to do with the pathology of plants, something like that. Is none other than Professor Khabo Phofu. Yeah, I'll call him last. Professor Phofu is newly rated C2. The next one is Professor Hector Chikore. Professor Chikore is also rated C2 with effect from 1 January. And then we have Professor Pesheya Dlamini. I don't think he's here. Oh, he's here. Did I call your name right, Professor? And he's rated C2 with effect from 1 January. And then we have Professor T.G. Manielo, Professor Grace Manielo. Another one of the young rated researchers, Y2. She is from agriculture. And if you do not believe that we are a research-intensive university, Professor Mafeo, look at yourself and how you have been able to develop the young lady that's receiving the certificate up until the rating and where she is. So this is our own timber, and thanks to the leadership here. And we have another one, our own timber, from undergraduate to doctoral degree to rating, from aquaculture, Dr. Isau Mpogane. If you like fish, you must befriend this guy. So the last person I'm going to call, the rating is still in the pot, but the accolades are already here. He's a research chair in photocatalytic energy. Did I call it right, Professor? So we're recognizing him for the research chair that he has, supported by the National Research Foundation in chemistry. And he deserves the honor, Professor Kwena Modibane. I told you that my spreadsheet is jumping. I can see there are people I jumped. I don't need to be told. I did not call the following people. And I'm sorry for that, because I nearly said this is the end. But I looked up and I saw a face and I said, that face, I don't want to go and answer some questions out here. Professor Dipenar. Professor Susan Dipenar, Professor of Zoology, C2 rated. And then the other one I forgot to call, I don't think he's here, but we will recognize him. Professor Chauke HR. He's the director for the School of Physical and Mineral Sciences, rated researcher. His research is in physics and materials modeling. And another one which, the spreadsheet was causing me problems. I think I also missed Professor Gunya. Busisiwe Gunya, rated C2. And all these people are in my list. Don't think that you are not in my list. I don't know what's happening with my screen. I didn't call Professor Signolo, and she's newly rated. And Y2. Is she here? Congratulations, Professor. I am sure you were going to kill me. When I received the information that she's rated in December, Professor Nsinyolo and I were attending a conference in Cape Town. I won't tell you her reaction, because even now in Cape Town, they're still asking, what were we fighting for? And the last one for the day, and I'm sure now I will not have forgotten anyone. Professor Mahlo, I didn't call you. Please come down and get your certificate. Professor Mahlo is rated C2 And she's in botany, researching on everything medicinal plants. If unalisi jiso, come to Professor Mahlo. She will tell you which plant to use. So I'll check the lips. I'll check them. Professor Pope. Professor Pope. We gave you only one certificate. This one. Okay. Let me use the certificate. So I did mention that Professor Mango is a research chair in pension funds, and we congratulated him. So I will not ask you to clap hands for the second time. I did mention that Professor Pofu got the ARC chair in plant pathology, something, regenerative agriculture, something like that. She's here. The certificate is here. They gave you one certificate. You can come, Professor. I did mention that Professor Velempini is the chair in wireless system. The certificate is here for the research chair. This is what you are going to use to claim your funds, by the way. Professor Velempini is slowly coming down so that Professor Pufu can move away. He wants the picture. And then I did mention that Professor Mashela got the ARC chair in regenerative agriculture. The certificate is here, Professor, for that part of research chair. You took only the one for rated researcher. Professor Mashela. Thank you. I was expecting that. And I think these are in absentia. Professor Aisi is a director of one of our centers of excellence. They are also recognized, similar to the research chairs. And Professor Mwepe also, I think we all know he deserves this. Professor Mwepe went out of the rating system willingly. He did not fail to be rated. He said, no, I'm tired of this thing. And to us, he is highly rated. And also for the leadership that he still continues to provide in the Materials Modeling Center. He also got the recognition. So all in all, we can clap hands for everyone. And thank you very much, colleagues, for what you have done. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And that way it's between the 14 November.
Yeah. Yeah. So just my final comments. Thank you very much, colleagues. This has been something that I think the office of the DVC, since she came into office, has been working very hard around the clock to convince those of us who did not believe in giving out money to change our minds. And honestly speaking, I am really grateful for what you have done. I can see that it has put smiles on our researchers. They are not all here, but I'm sure we will receive emails kindly directed to Professor Mutiba, and of course I'll be CC'd to say thank you very much for the tokens of appreciation. And Professor Mutiba was able to tell me very clearly that if it was not for the VC's generosity, this would not have been possible. So I think in absentia, we should acknowledge the leadership of the Vice Chancellor and the continued support. And we know how the VC is too close to our students' success. And that is why most of the money is going to student support and student supervision. How are we going to access the money? You will not come to me. You will not come to my office. You will go to the DVC's office. There is an able young lady called Khabo Tefu. If you can take that name down, the email is Khabo Tefu. She will assist you with how you can access those funds. That's why I said you must put an attachment as a copy of your certificate to be sure that indeed you are the one asking for the money. And also, as you start from today, whatever you are doing, that will be attached to these funds that you are going to receive. Document it, because at the end of November, you will have to submit a report on how you have utilized those funds. That is the basis through which funds in the future will then be dispersed. If there's any increase or any re-award, it will depend on how effective your usage and how your report has been able to show that there has been progress. So let's make sure, colleagues, that we do that. I know rated researchers are used to reporting. Annually, you do your progress report to the NRF. So maybe as part of that report, you can extract what relates to this, and you just send it directly to Maureen Khabo Tefu, and she will document and put everything down. And when the time for bringing those reports on the table, she will bring them. So from me, congratulations. I think the program still continues. Program Director, thank you very much for the opportunity. I appreciate. And I'm sure I'm sitting down now with people really happy that they were not invited here just for water.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mavila, and all the colleagues who assisted to award to our colleagues. This is really a beautiful occasion. We sometimes have to pause and appreciate other people. I don't watch too much TV, but I came across this program where they were discussing friendships. And this young lady was very genuine. She said, one of the things that I'm struggling with, I've got this friend. Always she will tell me what she has achieved. The next day, what she has achieved. And she said, I'm struggling to smile and acknowledge her achievements. So I hope we have been healed from such as we went through the program, and appreciate our colleagues who have done so well in the research space. And I am from the support services, and I'm really encouraged that we need to support you more so that there will be more research and there will be more success from the researchers. I'm now going to take us through to our next item on the agenda, where we'll have reflections on the researchers and the rated researchers by Prof. Temane. The stage is yours, Prof.
Thank you, Mrs. Program Director. Let me acknowledge the presence of the DVC, Research and Innovation and Partnerships. I don't know whether I'm mixing them. Thank you very much to Dr. Mavila and his team for organizing this occasion. I'm requested to speak on behalf of the research chairs. My interpretation of the program is that Professor Gavenda will speak on behalf of the rated researchers. So let me start by saying The research chairs is a concept that I did not know about for the greater part of my life. I only knew it about 10 years ago. There is such a thing as a research chair. But at my age, I never imagined that I would be part of that. I thought it's one of the trains that have passed by. But here I am today, and I'm very, very excited to be part of this instrument. From the NRF side, this instrument, research chairs, was established around 2006. And its main purpose is a national instrument to transform higher education, to make universities in South Africa competitive with others in the world. I don't want to give you a long speech, of course. I know I'm fond of speeches. But in brief, it is an instrument that is meant to transform research in South Africa. And we should say thank you to the Department of Science and Technology and NRF in particular, of course other bodies like where Professor Mashele and Prof are, for thinking about this. So after my Thanksgiving, I should say that specifically researchers are meant to do the following three things. One is to accelerate human development in the form of ECRs, early career researchers. And I think UL is on the right path there. I see people getting Y2, Y1, and so on and so forth. It's an indication that early career researchers have a bright future at UL. The other component of it is, of course, contributing to science. Science not in the sense of the faculty of health science, but science is knowledge creation. And I think papers that have been produced and PhDs, masters and honors produced around the different research chairs is a testimony to the fact that I think this instrument is working to transform education and research in South Africa. The other wing of research chairs is community engagement or community development. And I think there's a lot of activities taking place in various research chairs that are here. I think University of Limpopo's profile is beginning to show in the world, not just in Africa. So we're providing real solution to the world, no longer in Africa, maybe. Let me finish my reflections on, I know maybe before that I should start by saying thank you to the Office of Professor Mutiba for setting aside funds for this kind of activities. I mean, NRF has given funds for research chairs, but over and above that, the university has put a hand in it. And I think this is appreciated. When I went to Ronel is a lady at the Research Administration Office who deals with NRF monies. I wanted to carry an activity in January. And Ronella said, NRF has not yet paid. So in other words, we're supposed to stall and not go forward. But because of extra monies that you get outside the NRF, like this one that is available now, you are able to continue uninterrupted. And for that reason, thank you very much, Prof. Mutiba. you will see our throughput is going to double. You wanted to triple, okay. Let me finish by saying, however, there are problems which today we cannot talk about, for research chairs in particular. One of them is where to report, a policy on research chairs. As we hear from our colleagues elsewhere in the country about how research chairs are run, we recognize that at UL, we still need work to do to get research chairs well streamlined. Yeah, I finish on that note. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Prof. Teman. We'll now move to the last item of the day from our research intensive university. I'll request Prof. Mampuru. Pardon? Prof. Govender. Okay. Prof, the stage is yours to do the vote of thanks and the closing. Oh, okay. I'm missing something on the program and I'm continuing to. Okay. Maybe I have left my spectacles in the car and I'm struggling to see what's here. Sorry, Prof, it's your chance. Prof. Govender, C3 rated researcher, enabling environments.
Good morning, colleagues. Good morning to our DVC teaching and our DVC research and partnerships. I think I missed a part, but we know her as the DVC research and innovation and partnerships. So I'm sure that will suffice. Our research team, a very supportive research team led by Dr. Mabila, who's always creating opportunities for us. And whenever you actually meet him anyway, he will actually transmit some information that you need to look at and work on. So my role here is just to reflect on NRF rated researchers. I know that Prof. Temani had already talked about that component as his reflection from the research chair. Perhaps we heard earlier on what Dr. Mabila had indicated, when we are called or when we are ready to apply for rating, we look at whether our recent output and all the throughput that we had made, whether it's in the form of chapters, accredited articles, high impact journals, would be the ones that will pull us through, because these are rated by our peers from the country, other institutions and other researchers. So basically the journey is always a tenacious one. Also comes with a lot of trepidation. I remember when we were called together to a meeting to say that, and this was in 2019, I think that, we should look at the possibility of rating. And we thought, well, it is always such a sort of anxiety-provoking situation, because you don't know how your research is going to be received by reviewers, whether we do have what it takes to sort of put through that application. And we got a lot of support at that point from Dr. Mabila's office to keep soldiering on, keep putting the energy into writing, the story about how you can connect the dots about all the research that you've done in the last 5 years. And I think it was very rewarding when we, got the outcome to be positive. But clearly, that was, for me, it was very affirming and empowering, because we knew that as a new group or a new cohort of researchers that received our rating for 2020, we had to take it forward, right? And pull along with us many others that have the ability, but just didn't have, the motivation to put through that application. So we had to sort of like be a big support structure for them. Relatedly, because we are supposed to focus on, the science and increase knowledge and transform that into the scientific landscape, that we make our contribution, we have to be very dedicated and motivated. And you cannot do it alone. You have to have a team. And our team that we rely on is to empower the younger generation, our postgraduate students. So, we bring them into the mix, and we actually show them the value of whatever research that you are conducting, whether it's just for your academic purpose. How do we translate it so that it features in scientific journals or chapters or conferences and so on? So in that space, I can actually say, as a reflection, it becomes a very big team effort that you have to filter through. I think basically I've captured my reflection. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. Govender. We nearly missed that important reflection. Thank you very much. From our colleagues who have reached higher levels in the research space, and I think we need just to encourage them. I've seen a lot of young researchers in the room, to encourage our esteemed researchers who have reached these higher levels to continue supporting the other researchers to reach their levels. This is the start of the support to research, and I hope we'll be seeing more of support from the Office of the DVC, Research, Innovation and Partnerships, and the Office of Dr. Mabila at the Research Office. Now we'll move forward and to the item that I tried to announce before from our Research Intensive University, asking Prof to come and do the vote of thanks. It's your chance, Prof. Thanks.
Good afternoon, colleagues. Is it morning? Oh, still morning. I thought it's 2 o'clock already. On behalf of the Office of the Vice Chancellor, Professor Mahlo, the Office of the DVC, Research, Innovation and Partnerships, Professor Theo Motiva, the Office of the DVC, Teaching and Learning, Professor Richard Madaji, the University of Limpopo Executive Management, some are here, the Executive Deans of the Faculty, Directors of School, heads of department, researchers, esteemed researchers. That is the word. Colleagues, let me take this opportunity to appreciate and congratulate you for the sterling job that you have been doing over the past years. And some of you went through our hands as teachers, and now you've grown to become darlings of research in your respective areas of specialty. And as an institution, we are really very much proud to see this kind of trajectory coming from the former HDI, historically disadvantaged institution, and we're no longer in that space. We've moved in leaps and bounds out of that particular space as an institution over the past years. And it is because of your endeavors that over the years, with the minimal funding that you have amassed out there, you managed to actually move forward in terms of your research. And I think, let me take this opportunity also to appreciate the innovative idea from the acting DVC for having brought this. And with the current trends in terms of losing funding, seeing the Trump administration, many universities have lost quite a number of funding, especially from the NIH. And I was just reading the news that they started receiving letters over the weekend. And we're talking of millions and millions of research funding. And you can imagine what it's going to do to those researchers. And I hope none of us here is in that category. But, I see Professor Sori saying, yeah, and it's very, disturbing really from the researcher's point of view when we have the plans and everything, planned out to do research. And now all of a sudden you don't have any. So from the office of the DVC really, with this minimal amount that he has brought on the table as a gesture, I think even though it's too little, but it can never be too little, it will somehow assist the researchers with the much needed research funding. So colleagues, continue doing the good work. And as an institution, we really are very much appreciative and we are watching. And I'm glad that the youngsters are coming into the fold. And as the old guard is moving out, now we're seeing the new guard coming in, and which is succession really, in a way, to take this university up to the level that it deserves. So I don't want to be a speaker of the day, but thank you very much, and I really appreciate the sterling work that you've achieved, and continue the good work. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Good morning, colleagues. I'm just here to make the announcement about the networking lunch. We are going to have the networking lunch at the staff cafeteria at 12:30. For now, we will end the program. Then the morning tea is still available outside, and then 12:30, we're all going to go to staff cafeteria for the networking lunch. Thank you. One last announcement, can we please just send down your certificates to be signed by the DVC, and then you will get them at the networking lunch. Thank you.